I was having trouble with my electronic ignition in my 1983 Fiat, so I pulled the distributor out of the car and put it in between the soft metal jaws of a vise. And by the way, it's a lot easier to install. If you need to install a new magnetic pickup, it's a lot easier to do it like this because you can get at the screws very easily by turning the distributor to gain access to the screws, which was very difficult in the car. So then I hooked up a test set. This is a ground lead. This is the coil heat sink taken right out of the car by removing two bolts, two nuts. And I hooked up my multimeter to the coil, the red lead going to the plus side of the coil, and the other lead going to the ground of the heatsink. Then I ran separate grounds from the battery, one of them right to the distributor with an alligator clip, and the other one to the coil heatsink to make sure that everything was properly grounded. And I have my coil wire, my secondary, sitting here for the test. And I will turn on my multimeter now it's on the 20 volt DC scale. And now I will apply power to the plus side of the coil primary. You see I'm reading 12.5 volts. Now you can test this whole thing just by turning your distributor by hand. It's a nice spark. I'm going to turn the lights out. So now you verified that you've got spark in the secondary coil circuit, and everything in the primary, including the magnetic pickup, the ignition control module, is all good, and the coil. Now of course you want to do the regular tests on the coil primary resistance and the magnetic pickup resistance as per the factory manual. But once you got it all together, you can verify things on the bench by this simple setup.